Hey all, and this is the Alice's Quest event. This is a Dark Slayer event and Noble Killer. I've made up a few teams. The Radiant team you can see here is a lot slower but does far more damage. And then this boss was for quick killing bosses, for example guild bosses or diamonds or lower. So let's start with this team. It's a pretty basic team in all fairness. Mainly based on Immortal Killer. So Steadfast Sleuths, this is the lead card. Creates 4 power gem 6s. Also has a passive that spawns power gems. And that passive triggers quite often, so you do get quite a lot of power gems. Freedom Fighters, an older card, but still a very effective card, mainly because of that bonus attack on the card. Unbowed Royalty, this is the card for the killer skill. It's not exactly a good card by today's standards, but it's the only one I have, unfortunately. It's only 600% on the killer skill. Regal Revolutionaries. Creates 5 Dark Power Gem 2s. It also increases Immortal Killer attacks, so yeah, another decent card. I was only very recently able to get this card. I'm very happy to have got this, as it's another Immortal Killer card. My GVG attack team is also based on Immortal Killer. And finally, I added this card to the team. It destroys all non-dark gems. It also has a cleanse skill, so it's quite useful. However, this team is only really intended for turn 1 or 2 attacking, so the cleanse skill will rarely be used. And then for the relics, I only have 3 Noble Killer relics on the team. The other 2 are Dark Slayer relics. So it only breaks 3 shields, unfortunately. I don't have the relics. So this is the best I could really do. Otherwise you don't get enough dark gems if I start putting off-colour relics on the team. Then here's the 2 Dark Slayer relics. Just to get enough dark gems on the board so I can use my battle skills on turn 1. There we go. So let's go over to my more powerful team, the Dark Slayer Radiant team. Now this team is pretty effective, however, some of the bosses have armour, and this won't do anything against armour. The other 2 skills are Gem Silence and Blind. Iria will remove both of those, so no counter is needed. However, armour is a real pain. Corellium or Radiant bosses, it will just block all damage, so yeah, I may need to make a team that has some sort of armour counter, but it is very similar to my previous team, except Iria is on the team now. So this gives the supercharged boost. Need to use this on the second turn. That's when the enemy attacks. Then, after I've got the boost up, I can start hitting with my other cards. So yeah, pretty similar to the other team. And then, as with the previous team, Unbowed Royalty for the killer skill. So the relics are slightly different with this team. They're all Noble Shield Breaker relics. Unfortunately, I don't have that many good Noble Shield Breaker relics, as I've already mentioned, so this team takes off 5 shields. That leaves 1 shield on the Corellium and 2 on the Radiant. That is the best I can do, unfortunately, though. So that's what I'm going with for the event. It's still pretty effective even with 2 shields up, but it's maybe not as powerful as it should be because of that. So if you do have the event deck, here are a few other ideas you can try. You can try putting 2 copies of Supreme Santa on the team. This increases Noble Killer attack significantly, so having 2 copies may boost up the attack enough to make it worthwhile doing. The other thing you could try is putting both Seaborn Scalawags and Navigator Ramsey on the team. These both have the upgrade skill, which means you can upgrade all the power gems. And that should also help improve the damage by a significant amount. As always, you may need to test out various decks until you find what works for you. So there we go, that's the decks I'm using for the event and a few other ideas. Let's get on with the actual event. Alright, so here we go with the actual event. There's nothing particularly special about this event, however I have noticed it seems less competitive than usual. I'm already in Bronze Legends and normally I don't get out of Iron, so that's something interesting to note. I'm not quite at the highest prestige yet. I'm going to stay at this prestige with Carillion bosses as the strongest boss until I'm forced to prestige. I don't really like Radiants, they have a lot of health. Anyway, this shows the effectiveness of my team. Here we go. Right. So turn 1 is basically match anything. Unfortunately, there's still one shield left. I don't have the relics, as I mentioned in the first part of the video. And then I use Iria and then Unbowed Royalty. Royalty has this sort of passive skill that creates power gems for the other cards. So that needs to be used on turn 2, and then on turn 3 I start to do the damage. This is the fun part. Right, here we go. All the damage is in the bonus attack on the Freedom Fighters. Watch the health go down, and just repeat the process. So all the damage will happen again once the Freedom Fighters is ready. However, I can hit before that. Steadfast Sleuths has a 1-turn cooldown on the skill, so that's always good. Now I just need to wait for Iria to be ready again. Here we go. And it should defeat the boss on this turn. The added advantage is that it also removes blind. However, some of the solo bosses have armour and that cannot be removed, so that's something to bear in mind if you're making a team similar to this. Armour really is an absolute pain and you may need some sort of counter. That will easily kill the boss. There we go. So that gives an idea of what sort of damage this team can do. It can do over 1Q damage in total after the bonus attack if you get it right. So it's not a bad team. The problem is it's a bit slow. It takes 3 turns to be effective. It's definitely the best team I can make up out of non-event cards though. So I'm going to try this Inferno that just appeared with my other team. Gone the wrong way, that's a big mistake. There we go. So ideally, I'll be able to do some damage on turn 1 with this team. It's intended for Diamond pretty much. I don't think it would do much on anything higher than Diamond. If an Inferno Diamond like this one spawns though, I can try and get maybe 20% on it. Let's see what I get. The team is a bit different though. More shields up as there's less noble relics. The damage is still pretty decent though in all fairness. I think that might get 50%. Yeah, it did. That's not bad. I mean, that's easy trophies. That's really easy trophies. It costs a lot of keys to hit a Diamond Inferno like that. But yeah, I think that may be one of my alternative strategies for the event. Focus on Diamond bosses and my own bosses. Not quite sure how I'm going to play the event yet, but it will be something similar to that. Okay, and one more Inferno here I'm going to hit, I think. This will be the final boss I kill during the video. I don't want to prestige up to Radiance yet, so this is why I'm staying on 1 prestige below the maximum, which I believe is prestige 6 if I'm not mistaken. You can see the damage the teams do though, it gives you an idea. This team is perfect for guild bosses as an example. I don't know how effective it will be on the frenzy bosses though. I think the damage is a bit low, but it might be able to kill the diamond frenzy bosses. I guess I will see later on when we start summoning them. Anyway, that's another easy 50% on the Inferno, like so. So now let's have a look at the actual event rewards. As I've already mentioned, I don't want to take it to the highest prestige yet. I'm only going to do that when it forces me to prestige, so I can get MVP on 8 more Carillion bosses, or should I say 50%. So the collection this time around, it's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a GVG relic collection, but this is what we got. A bunch of crown shards. There were these other shards for upgrading Armour. Sort of useful, but nothing really special there. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, not what I was hoping for, as I've already mentioned. But it's what we got, so have to make do with it. And then as for the Warden or Dragoon, let's have a look at it. I think it's probably going to be a Warden, as the last event was a Dragoon. Yeah, there we go. Light Warden. White Rabbit. So there we go, that's what it looks like. Battle skill, late for an important date. Delays all enemies' attack timers by 1 turn. Attack timers, not turn. I'm kind of curious as to what that exactly means. Defender skill, Traitor and a Light Warden though, so it's not going to be especially effective. Anyone using a Golems-based team will just fly straight through this, unfortunately. Okay, so let's have a look at the actual event deck. I'm saving my season choice coins for the next deck. I believe it's an Earth Commander and Beast Killer deck, so that should be really effective with the cards I have. I should be able to get both of those cards next event with all the coins I have. I'm planning to keep buying the first 2 tiers of all the packs to get the coins. And hopefully I'll be able to get the deck and smash out the event and do really well. So, here's the card, Wonderland Warriors. Create 6 Dark Power Gem level 6s, increases self-attack. Cryptic Advice buff. Creating 10 Dark Power Gem 6s on attack. Plus it has a revised skill, plus it has a delay skill on it, so based on that, it kind of feels like another GVG deck. If I was going to get this deck, I would probably be using it for GVG more than anything. So let's have a look at the 2 individual cards. There's Alice. That creates the power gems and has the delay skill on it. And then for the Grinning Guardian, which is based on the Cheshire Cat, I think. All based on the Alice in Wonderland stories. Creates 10 Dark Power Gem level 6s and has the Revive skill on it. The Cryptic Advice Cheshire Mischief skill. No idea what that does. Sounds quite interesting. I would be curious to get the deck just to see what that actually does, but I'm not going to. So this is probably the better out of the 2 cards. It creates more power gems and has the Revive skill on it. If you were only to get one of the cards, I'd probably go for this one, but that would be up to you. And there we go, that about covers this video. I hope that was helpful. As always, if you do have any questions or suggestions regarding this, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to help. If you did enjoy this video, leaving a like and subscribing to the channel is always appreciated. Thank you to those that have already subscribed. And thanks for watching.